You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is our January 10th, 2024 meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff Merit Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the January 10th, 2024 meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff's Merit Board. I want to start out by wishing everyone a Happy New Year. Also want to welcome our new Merit Board member, John Berger, formerly with the department. So welcome to the Merit Board. By the way, since you didn't get the memo, normally your first day on, you're supposed to bring coffee for the board. So, okay, good. Well, congratulations. Look forward to working with you. Can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Berger, if you would, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First order of business this morning will be to elect the officers for the Merit Board for the 2024 calendar year. We'll start out with President. Do I have any nominations?
I nominate Jim Kimmel.
Second.
Have a motion and I have a second. Are there any other nominations? May I have a motion to close nominations? Can I have a motion to close?
I so move.
Okay, thank you. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. All in favor of Jim Kimmel as the president for 2024 signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you. Vice President. Nominations for Vice President.
I nominate Laura Francisconi.
Okay, I have a motion for Laura. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion second. Any other nominations? Hearing none, motion to close nominations. I'll make that motion. All in favor, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. All in favor for Laura as Vice President signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you. Secretary, I have a nomination.
I nominate Louise Mock.
Okay. I have a motion for Louise. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any others? Hearing none, motion to close nominations for Secretary.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All in favor of Louise to continue as Secretary signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Whew. Got that done. Did everyone, all the board members, receive a copy of the minutes from the December 2023 meeting?
Yes.
Are there any corrections or modifications to the minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve as submitted?
So approved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Well, Sheriff, now that we've got all that taken care of, how are you?
I'm good this morning. How is everyone this morning?
Good, good. Very good. Very good. Think a trust vacation was relaxing, got the battery recharged, and
Very. Yeah,
Good.
it was nice. The weather was beautiful, and it's good to get away, but it's always good to get home as well, too.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
Yeah, leave that to come to this though. Come on.
I told Heather we picked the wrong week.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, good for you.
Happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yes, it was our 18th anniversary on the 4th of January, so she's been blessed to be with me we've been together now, it would be 20 years, but married for 18 years, so.
Who's blessed?
You have to tell that.
She is.
Oh. Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Berger, welcome. Congratulations on your election to the Merit Board. You obviously been a member of the Sheriff's Office for, was it 15 years?
Close to it, yeah.
15 years, and took on a new adventure in life, but we welcome you back as a member of the Merit Board, and so welcome.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you bet. So you guys have knocked out the election of officers today. Congratulations to you lucky candidates and office holders. We'll go ahead and get started. Our calls for service between November and December decreased. The calls decreased 9% from 2,191 to 2,000 evenly. That's not a huge surprise this time of year. The calls for service really decrease just because everybody has a tendency to stay indoors and hibernate. So we'll see, especially for the month of January and going into February, we'll definitely see probably more decrease in the calls for service in going to that. Our crash reports decreased significantly, 46%, from 126 in November to 68 in December. And that's because we haven't seen the snow. You know, usually in December we see the snow, and that it's been very dry and very warm, so we haven't seen the normal amount of crashes and slide-offs that we would normally see this time of year. Our traffic stops decreased 8% from 799 to 732. Our car deer crashes decreased significantly as well, from 73 to 18th from the month of November to the month of December. And that's all goes in cycles with the fall rut season and everything else. We're obviously past that, so the deer aren't running like we normally see that in the fall. Year to date, however, we've seen about a 15% increase in our total calls for service. In 2023, we were about 28,199. Now, those aren't the official end of the year numbers. I think Becky, who's starting to work on the annual report, I think we're actually going to see about 30,000 calls for service in 2023 once the final numbers come in. So we're still working on that. However, compared to 2022 and the same time frame, we saw 24,724 calls for service. So they were up significantly from 2022 to 2023. And what I'm proud of is that the men and women of the Sheriff's Office stepped up. We were very short-staffed throughout the year, going into the year, between individuals that we needed to hire, individuals that were at the academy, and individuals that were going through FTO. We were essentially 11 officers short-handed, and the other group just picked up and handled it. I don't think there was a time that we had to mandate overtime. They stepped up, volunteered for all the overtime. And as far as I know, they did it all with a good smile on their face, and they were pleased. They just stepped up and handled it that they needed to do. And being 11 officers short and answering almost 5,000 more calls throughout the year, they did it, and I'm proud of that they did it and did it very well. So thank you to all of them. Administrative Assistant Becky Popwell has begun to work on the 2023 annual report. Once completed, just as in years past, it'll be posted to our website so the public can go out and take a look at that and review, just to show exactly how busy and see exactly how busy our officers were in 2023. New hires, Zachary Weffler and Jeffrey Armstrong, continue their FTO. They're about 4 to 5 weeks in already. They're doing extremely well, and they are projected to complete their FTO somewhere around the 1st of April. So we're excited about that. That'll get them on their own just as we start getting into the warm summer months. So that's very well. Looking forward to that. New hire, Dylan Heisick, is currently attending the Northwest Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. I originally thought his first day was this past Monday, but I'm told it's this coming up Monday, the 15th. So my apologies on the error there. He's expected to graduate in April. So we're really excited about that. And as you know, with Dylan's hire, we're back at full staff now. You guys were a very busy board last year. We hired, I think it was 8 or 9 individuals last year alone, so it was a busy year. I want to thank you guys for all the time that you committed and dedicated to this process. If you recall, going into 2023, that was my number one goal, that we become fully staffed by the end of the year, and by God, we did it. So thank you for your time and effort on all of that. During this month of January, all merit deputies will be completing in-service training. This will assist them in getting their mandated training hours completed. And I want to commend Captain Heineck for putting this together and bringing this to our attention, because by the end of the month, each deputy will have 16 of their 24 hours completed and done within the month of January, and that's a good step going into the year. Not only that, by his scheduling efforts, we're going to complete this task without no overtime, no cost to the department of incurring overtime. So thank you, Captain Heineck, on your effort in putting all that together. Also, during the above-mentioned training, each deputy will be issued a new taser, as our current tasers have reached their end of lifespan. We're required to replace them every 5 years. Our 5 years is due, and so each deputy will be issued a brand new taser. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years already. So, the application process has begun for the Neil Thompson Memorial Scholarship. As a reminder, this fund is now held through the Unity Foundation, and applications can be found on their website, with a deadline for applications being March 15th. This is for any child of an employee of the Sheriff's Office, a posse member. We no longer have a reserve unit, but any child who's going to seek an accredited school here, it can apply for that, and that's a $1,500 scholarship that can be used just for about anything, books or anything like that. Again, that can be found through the Unity Foundation on their website. There's a link in which you can apply for that, and they handle all that for us now. So that's very good.
Sheriff, if I can ask you a question on that, does that apply to trade schools as well?
Yeah, I believe it's any schooling. It does not have to be law enforcement specific. Okay. I know we've had other kids or students come through here where they've went to nursing school and everything else like that. So absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, once the Unity Foundation receives the applications, they review them, then they send them to me for final approval and sign off on them, and then they'll issue the check out. So it makes it easy. The Unity Foundation has really made this easy for us. If you remember in years past, we always held those funds here, we always managed it and everything, but the Unity Foundation has really made the job easy for us, so that's very nice.
I'm just going to add to that for anybody listening. Donors can go to the Unity Foundation and select that fund to make a donation as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And, another huge contributing donor to the Neil Thompson is the Sheriff's Christmas Show. Every year we receive funds and everything else and that. And I want to say we probably have made close to $7,000 to $8,000 just from the Children's Christmas Show, where the proceeds go to the Neil Thompson Scholarship. So that's always a huge contributing donor to the scholarship. So we're pleased for that. So I'd like to give an update on the flood/remodel project. Boy, there's light at the end of the tunnel. We can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. They are making some significant progress here over the week. Speaking with the contractors, they hope to be completely done with us by the end of this month. And the way they've been moving them quite along, I can see that happening. Boy, they're wasting no time. They've got a system set up now that they've been given the go from the environmental engineer who was checking for mold and taking air samples. All that's been done. We've got the green light, and they are in there wasting no time now. So that project is moving along, and again, our hope is to be completely done by the end of January. So I don't know if you have, after last month, I know it's been hard to navigate through around that area, but I don't know if after last month's meeting you guys have been able to go through and take a look at some of the progress and some of the new additions that have been made. I'm very pleased with the outcome and the way things are looking. So if you didn't get a chance to do it last month and you'd like to check it out this month, come with me afterwards and I'll show you the progress that's been made on it. I think you guys would be significantly surprised. So I know I touched on this briefly at last month's meeting, but the Sheriff's Office annual holiday party will take place Saturday, January 27th. This will be held at the Silver Palace. The doors open at 5:30 p.m. All members of the Merit Board here and spouses are welcome to attend. There is no cost for the attendees. Myself and the chief picked up the expenses for the spouses or significant others as we did last year. However, the open cash bar will still be in place. I'm glad to announce that once again the Indiana State Police will cover our calls for service from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. so that our afternoon shift can attend and they don't have to worry about working. If you noticed that we did change the venue this year to the Silver Palace from Heston Hills, there was no issues with Heston Hills. However, in years past, there was some concern by some of the deputies who live in southern LaPorte County, happen to go all the way up to Heston Hills, which is in northern LaPorte County. The chief and I talked, and we just thought maybe we could try to find a more centralized location to make it easier for everybody involved. So that was the reason that the location was changed. Again, there was no issues with Heston Hills or anything like that. So I do have a couple of letters and emails of commendation that I like to read. The first one is from Sergeant Scott Lanew to Deputy Shane Landry, and it says, Sheriff Heeg, I'd like to bring your attention to the actions of several of our deputies during the Christmas season, with one in particular going above and beyond. On December 23rd, Deputy Landry sent an email to the department requesting assistance with adopting a family from the Sandcastle Family Shelter in Michigan City. Deputy Landry stated a family of 5 have not been adopted, and he would be shopping for the family that night. He was inquiring if any other deputies would like to donate to the cause. It should be pointed out that Deputy Landry was making this request after he and his family had already adopted another family and was planning on buying whatever was needed for the additional family. Captain Wright, Sergeants Lear and Struess, Deputies Morris, Roby, Sweet, Wells, Oberholzer, and Eppel all donated to Deputy Landry to help with the family in need. On December 25th, Deputy Landry sent a follow-up email stating that enough money was raised to buy each child 4 brand new outfits, including new underwear, socks, and shoes. Each children also received several toys that they will be able to enjoy. The mother was able to receive several new outfits, shoes, and a new coat. Deputy Landry advised there was enough money left over, and he asked the director of Sandcastle, Tammy Rosebaum, what else the shelter needed. Tammy said that they could always use gift cards for restaurants and gas stations. Deputy Landry said that they was able to purchase an additional $450 worth of gift cards for the shelter. On December 28th, the Sandcastle posted on their Facebook page to thank Deputy Landry and the other deputies. I implore you to read the Facebook message just to see how grateful they were to Deputy Landry. This is just one, although enormous example of how Deputy Landry always puts others before himself. As you recall, just a few years ago, he donated his time and helped to replace his well, giving him quality drinking water. As I speak with Deputy Landry during the shift, he is always talking about his day, and that usually includes helping someone else, even when he has his own projects to do. Even as I was completing this letter of commendation, Deputy Landry made a post on Facebook that he was helping a neighbor who had a catastrophic water failure, and he was replacing the supply line and faucets in the house. Deputy Landry should be recognized for his dedication to others and always willing to go above and beyond for the citizens of LaPorte County. Deputy Landry is a great example of what the LaPorte County Sheriff's is about. Captain Wright, Sergeant Lear, Sergeant Struess, Deputies Morris, Roby, Sweet, Wells, Oberholzer, and Eppel should also be recognized for their selflessness and donating to a wonderful cause. With best regards, Sergeant Scott Lanew. I couldn't agree more. I think that was just a great action by Deputy Landry for picking this up, and the other deputies that had donated to it. Sergeant Lanew mentions in there just a few years ago the same thing. Deputy Landry had a veteran neighbor who had well issues and didn't have water and took up that cause and completed that task as well. So just another great job by the men and women of the department. Just it's a shining star and can be more proud of all of them. And finally, I received a email from Sheriff Pat Williamson of Jasper County. It says, "Good afternoon, Sheriff Ron. I wanted to thank you for sending Major Cicero down to examine our blood spatter death case. He was a wealth of information and greatly enhanced our knowledge, as well as assisted our coroner and prosecutor in preliminary determinations. If we can ever repay you in any way, please don't hesitate to ask. I hope to see you at the winter conference and wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas. Pat Williamson, Sheriff of Jasper County." We know that's Pat's specialty, blood spatter analysis. He loves that stuff. They reached out in reference to a death case that they had there, and Pat asked if he could go down, and I said absolutely without hesitation. And it was because of Pat's determination. I believe they're going to file murder charges against this individual based on his analysis of the blood spatter case. Also attached, you'll find the warrants, detective, jail, monthly reports. And that is all I have going into the new year.
Thank you, sir. Are there any comments from the floor?
I would just encourage the merit board to take the letter that Sergeant Lanou wrote and use that as a nomination for next year's service above self for Deputy Landry.
Already done. Thank you, though. I appreciate that, Captain. Any other comments from the floor? Any other comments from the floor? Hearing none, comments from the board. Mr. Berger.
Just want to say thank you for welcoming me aboard and looking forward to serving you guys. So, thank you.
Ms. Mock.
No, sir, but I'm thinking the change of venue for the Christmas party wasn't because I hit the deer, was it?
Had nothing to do with the deer, Louise.
I heard there was a petition, though, by the Deers up on 1000 North. Jen?
Just want to tell John,
Mike?
congratulations for being on the board.
Laura?
Yeah, I'll ditto that. Welcome, John. Glad to have you here. I'd also like to say thanks to Deputy Landry, also Sergeant Lanou for writing the very detailed commendation. I know that's a lot of time out of, that's extra work for somebody to do that. I also know there are a lot of people in the department that do things like this, and they're very humble and they don't want to share. And I respect that, but stories like this are needed to get out there to the public to understand the extra efforts that deputies or other individuals on the department go through and give in the community besides their time. Their job is a service to our community, but they go above and beyond. So in addition to that, if I encourage peers to point that out. You may not have to write a detailed letter like Sergeant Lanou did, but I just continue to encourage that, even though I know that's extra work.
Yeah, I would agree. Deputy Landry, who works midnights, is probably home sleeping, but if he knew we read this letter here today, he'd probably be upset. Yeah.
Okay. Again, Captain Heinig, I want to thank you for bringing that to our attention. And as soon as I got the email, I was very pleased that Sergeant Lanou sent that to me so that we could consider it for Beyond the Expected. And again, a reminder that is something that does not have to wait until the end of the year. If things of this nature happen or occur and you've got knowledge of it, get it sent to the sheriff, myself, both of us, whatever, and we start a file on that. Very happy. Once again, this year we'll be doing the Beyond the Expected at the party or the meeting later on this month at Silver Palace. First Source Bank once again has agreed to sponsor the very nice Crystal Awards that we give away, and once again. Our local restaurants in the area are always willing and able to step up and help us. We always give the winner of that or the recipient of the Beyond the Expected a gift card so he can take or she can take their family out. And this year I'm happy to say that Mr. Brandon Jones from Buffalo Wild Wings and the Drift contributed gift certificates for that. So I have found in talking to restaurants in the county that without fail, every one of them says, "Don't forget me next year," or "Come back next year and do it." And We had one individual that did it 2 years in a row, and when he found out I didn't go to him the third year, he called me up and he was pretty upset. He said, did I do something wrong? And I said, no, we just thought we would spread wealth. And he goes, I want to spread my wealth and thank the men and women of the Sheriff's Department. So it's what Laura said, you know, we've got to get this word out to the community of the men and women of this department, what they do day in and day out. And they don't do it for a plaque or a gift certificate. They do it because that's what's bred into them, and they're very special. I know a couple things that we don't hear a lot about, but we see a lot about it, and especially during the holidays, I stuff on Facebook, photos on Facebook about all the men and women, pardon me, of the department that were out in the community ringing bells for Salvation Army. You know, very worthy cause, you know, helping to distribute food to the needy at Thanksgiving. I know I heard there was a traffic jam up at 421 and 20 earlier this year or last year in December. Santa Claus and his troop was out there with their cans and their boots it was first responders from all over were out there collecting, not just from this department, but from first responders all over. And we're very fortunate to live in the county that we are and in the country that we do. So just wanted to bring that. Sheriff, you did mention too the fact that we're at full staff, and what a relief that was. As you mentioned, last year was we got wore out. It was good. We did a lot of work, and it was, you know, the fruits of our labor, I think, have come around to benefit us. I know I worked very closely with Chief Ott. It would be nothing to get a phone call and say, hey, we got a guy, can we set the merit board up to do an interview? And I want to thank all the members of the merit board. And when I would call them and say, you know, we've got this coming up, we've got to get this person interviewed, no one ever hesitated. They always said just when and where we'll be there. I know we did 3 days for the promotional interviews, and I do want to mention too that I was remiss by not getting it set up. I will get with you, Sheriff, and set up a date where the merit board can come in, and anybody wants to come in and talk about their promotional interviews or the tests. You know, we always welcome and encourage feedback. We can't get any better if we don't know if there was a problem. So
right.
We'll be doing that in the very near future. So wanted to let you know that.
And again, I want to thank all of you who, you know, committed and put in the time for that hiring process. Again, that was my number one goal going into 2023. And you mentioned Chief Ott. He looked at me and says, I've got this. I want to take this on and I want to handle this. And boy, he did. And it was close, but before the end of the year, we got to full staff. So it's a relief and a long time coming. It's been a very long time that we've been at full staff. So hopefully we can stay there for a while.
A long while.
Yeah.
So I have nothing else. Again, I'll circle back. Anybody else have anything else they want to add? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Meeting adjourned at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.